talk about the neuron. These yellow pieces right here are the dendrites, which are like tree extensions which pick up the messages and the electronic signals from other neurons. And we'll talk about how they get those later. Right here is the cell body, which receives the message from the dendrites to move it through the rest of the neuron. It also holds the nucleus inside of it, which is basically the control center of the neuron. And if any of this part gets damaged, it can't be restored. It's not like skin cells that just reform after a while. Once you kill a neuron, it's completely destroyed. This brown piece right in here is the axon hillock, which is basically controls the firing of the neuron after the message is sent from the cell brain, which is these red pieces. And once it's sent through, it goes down to the axon, which basically is just like a tunnel for the neuron and pushes the message through. And these actually green pieces are here to show the different sections of it that catch the electric pulse and move it straight through. And another thing about the axon hillock is that it also helps store some of that electricity to help keep the neuron from over processing it and basically burning it out. Kind of like when your parents say you watch too much TV, that's what this is to do, to stop any type of burnout or overcharge, which could cause you to get a headache, or it's basically the controller of stress is what I would call it. And so the axon really has only one major function, which is to just move the messages along.
Okay, so I'm going to finish explaining the rest of the neuron. And Nia explained that this middle line right here is known as the axon. And these black Legos represent a fatty substance, which is also called the myelin sheath. It wraps around the axon in sort of a spiral motion, and it insulates the axon, which is why it's also called an electrical insulator. And then it connects to these axon terminals, which are the blue Legos, that contains neurotransmitters that converts electrical impulses into chemical signals. And they don't directly touch the next neuron by its dendrites, but it goes through the synapses, but it does receive the last of the impulses. And this vertical line right here represents the synapses. That is the end of the terminal button, which converts chemical and electrical messages to and from other cells or other neurons, which connects to these dendrites right here. That goes to the rest of the next neuron, and it keeps going on and on and on. And then I have some fun facts. And the neuron fires between 1.2 to 250 miles per hour of action potential. And the action potential is what your brain sends out to tell the rest of your body what to do. And this works like if you wanted to move your hand or shut your hand, your brain sits here and sends the signals from the beginning of your dendrites all the way through your synapses to the next dendrites of another neuron. It just keeps going and going until the message is delivered, received, and made. And then you have over 100 billion neurons in your nervous system that transmits information to other neuromuscular gland cells.